Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first of all, I welcome all of you in this lecture. So, good morning to everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so let me present my screen to you. Yes, please let me know. Can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as you all know that in my previous lecture, we have seen a very important theorem based on convergent sequence, that is nothing but the monotone convergence theorem. Can anybody recall the statement of monotone convergence theorem for us? Yes, Unnati Pandey, unmute yourself and tell me what is the statement of monotone convergence theorem. Yes, Unnati.
Hello.
Yes.
If a sequence is increasing and bounded by a supremum, then sequence will converge to the supremum. Like
Is it a statement of monotone convergence theorem?
maybe.
Okay, mute yourself. Yes, Roshan Shah. Unmute yourself and tell me what is the statement of monotone convergence theorem. Yes, Roshan. Are you there? Okay. Yes, Abhay, do you want to recall it?
Yes, sir. So, if a sequence is a monotonic sequence and it is bounded, then it is convergent.
Yes. So, monotone convergence theorem tells us what? Every monotonic bounded sequence is convergent. Okay, so let me present that PDF in front of you, or you can say on your screen. You can see every monotonic bounded sequence is convergent. This is the statement of monotone convergence theorem. Okay, means see now onwards we are going to see some examples where we are going to check whether the sequence is convergent or not. But let me tell you, sometimes it is quite difficult to find out whether the sequence is convergent or not. So for such sequences, what we are going to check is we are going to just check whether that sequence is monotonically increasing or decreasing, and we are going to check its boundedness. And if we are getting it is both monotonic as well as bounded, then we can able to conclude that sequence is convergent using this monotone convergence theorem. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, now let us try to understand some examples using this statement, or let us apply this statement in this example to find out to find out, or you just say just check whether the sequence an is convergent or not. Okay, so अब हम अपना सरप्राइज ओपन करते हैं. Okay, so prove that the following sequences A and are convergent using monotone convergence theorem. Also find the limit. Now observe, all of you please try to check whether it is monotonically increasing or monotonically decreasing. Okay, this is our first example where an is 3n plus 1 divided by 4 to the power n. Just check whether it is monotonically increasing or monotonically decreasing. What you are going to do in such cases, you are going to just check what is the relation of this, that is an plus 1 minus an. Just do this. Find out what is an plus 1 minus an and check whether it is bigger than or is equals to 0 or less than or is equals to 0. So please try to calculate this and let me know what is your answer for this subtraction. All of you try it. If you are not able to solve it here, then you never solve it anywhere. सो सबको ट्राई करना है एंड रिमेंबर, जब भी आप मैथ्स के लेक्चर के लिए बैठे हो तो आई होप आप नोटबुक एंड पेन्स लेकर बैठते होगे. अगर नहीं तो फिर आज से बैठना स्टार्ट करो. Yes, what is the relation between these two? Or what is your answer for an plus 1 minus an?
Sir, less than is equal to 0.
First of all, tell me what is the answer of an plus 1 minus an. This gives you what? See, you are saying it is less than or is equals to 0. So tell me what is the answer of this subtraction? प्रॉब्लम हो रही है क्या कहाँ पे फाइंड आउट करने के लिए? यस, नहीं फाइंड कर पा रहे हो आप? एटलीस्ट से यस और नो सो दैट आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड.
So, sir, answer I am
Okay, so tell me what it is.
minus 9 n upon 4 raised to n plus 1.
Minus 9 upon 4 raised to n plus 1. Okay. Now what we know about n?
N belongs to natural number.
N belongs to natural number. Okay, so 4 to the power n plus 1 is anyway positive, and n is also positive, 9 is also positive, and we are multiplying this fraction by negative number. So this gives me what? This is less than or is equals to 0. So what you are going to conclude, whether it is monotonically increasing or decreasing?
Decreasing.
So this is monotonically decreasing sequence, and remember this is true for all n. Okay, so this is monotonically decreasing sequence. Let us see what is there in the book. So you can see here is also the same answer is given to you. So this is less than 0 for all n belongs to natural number. So this gives me this is strictly less than 0. Or if you want, you can include equality also. Okay. So here we are getting this sequence an is monotonically decreasing. Further, observe what we can say about an. Can I say an is always positive? Observe. Yes, can I say an is always positive? Am I asking you a difficult question? You just need to apply, or you just need to put the different values of n and check whether you are getting any negative number for an. Is it possible?
No, sir.
Which means what? This is always bigger than 0. Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you guess where this sequence is converging?
Sir, 0.
Yes. So this sequence is converging to 0. How you are going to argue? Observe, can we able to apply sandwich theorem to this sequence? See, for to apply sandwich theorem, we need to know about what is Bn and what is Cn, such that this sequence An is lying between Bn and Cn. This is one way. For that, you need to find out what is Bn and what is Cn. There is another way. See, right now we have just checked that this sequence gives me the, we have checked that this is monotonically decreasing sequence. Now what remains to check to apply monotone convergence theorem?
If it is bounded or not.
Boundedness. Okay, so now we are going to see whether this sequence is bounded or not. As we already concluded the lower bound for this sequence an, which is nothing but 0. Okay, now let us see what is an upper bound. Okay, so further an is anyway positive for every natural number. This implies what? An is bounded below. Okay, so now here we can apply the first part, or you can say first theorem of my previous lecture in this for this sequence an. Thus, what we are saying, an is monotonically decreasing sequence which is bounded below. So what we can say by monotone convergence theorem, an is convergent. In fact, we can say something more, that if I am having a sequence n which is monotonically decreasing and which is bounded below, then it converges. It's it is converging to its what?
Infimum.
It is converging to its infimum. And what is the infimum for this sequence an?
0.
0. So you just need to prove that infimum is 0 for this sequence an. If you can able to do that, then you are done. See, यहाँ तक तो हमें पता चल रहा है कि 0 is the lower bound. Okay. Now what we need to show? This 0 is what?
Infimum.
What do we mean by infimum?
Greatest lower bound.
Greatest lower bound. Okay. See, this statement gives me only this 0 is the lower bound of this sequence an. Now you need to show this is the greatest lower bound. Means what? Among all the lower bounds, this one is the greatest one. So again here we need Archimedean property. Okay. So what remains to prove is infimum of S is 0, where S is nothing but this set, which means what? I am putting a sequence an inside this set S. जैसे हमने फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ मोनोटोन कन्वर्जेंस थ्योरम प्रूव किया था, उसमें भी हमने सेम सेट डिफाइन किया था इन विच वी हैव पुट द सीक्वेंसेस वेयर n belongs to natural number. So you need to again define the same set in which you are going to put the given sequence. Now remember, for monotone convergence theorem, we are combining the two statements. Okay. For this theorem, we are combining the previous two statements, and using those statements, we are going to conclude that every monotonic bounded sequence is convergent. This I have already explained. Where, see, though we are saying it is bounded above and bounded below, but by the construction, we are getting this sequence is bounded. Okay, please remember that. Okay, so now what remains to check is infimum of this set S is 0. Is the idea clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us apply the definition. For every epsilon bigger than 0, there exists n naught belongs to n such that, now you can see this epsilon is bigger than 0, which means what? This is my real number. So I can always find a natural number such that this natural number is always bigger than 1 upon epsilon. Okay, this is one of the consequences of Archimedean property. Okay, for that you just need to take 1 upon epsilon, which is bigger than 0. And for this real number, we are going to find out a natural number such that this real number is strictly less than my natural number n naught. And using this statement, we can able to conclude 1 upon n naught is less than epsilon. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So further, let us try to see the relation of this sequence. Okay. So consider 3n plus 1 divided by 4 to the power n. And consider this also, that is 3n plus n divided by 4 to the power n. Now what is the relation between these two? Can I say this is less than or is equals to 3n plus n divided by 4 to the power n?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
is the
sir.
reason? Yes, what is the reason? What you can say about their denominators? Observe. Can I say their denominators are same?
Yes, sir.
So whenever we are having two fractions in which we are having the denominator is same, which means what? Now we are going to see the relation of numerator only. Now when this 3n plus 1 is less than 3n plus n, when this happens, I want strict inequality. What I am asking you is this. See, I am having these two real numbers and I am asking you this statement when I can say this is strictly less than 3n plus n. Okay, difficult हो रहा है. So first of all, tell me when I will say both are equal.
If n is equal to 1.
If n is equals to 1, then both are equal. Now when I will say this right hand wala quantity is bigger than this left hand wala quantity,
N is greater than 1.
when n is greater than 1. So can I say this is less than or is equals to 3n plus n?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now observe this right hand wala part. Okay, 3n plus n gives me 4n divided by 4 to the power n. Now what is the relation between this? Okay. See, this is again exactly equal. Okay, it should not be less than or equals to, it should be exactly equals to. Why? Because here I am having 4n and in the denominator we are having 4 to the power n. So you use law of indices. So can I say this is exactly equals to n upon 4 to the power n minus 1? समझा या नहीं समझा? See, at least I can expect this from your side. I am having this 4n upon 4 to the power n. Now what is the power of 4 in the numerator?
1.
1. And what is the power of 4 in the denominator?
N.
So if I take this 4 to the power 1 in the denominator, so what I can say about this quantity? Yes. समझ रहा है या नहीं समझ रहा? ये आपने 11th स्टैंडर्ड में कभी नहीं पढ़ा? 11th 12th स्टैंडर्ड में कभी नहीं अप्लाई किए लॉ ऑफ इंडाइसेस? See, in the numerator we are having the power of 4 is plus 1. ओके, तो वो डिनोमिनेटर में आएगी तो क्या बन जाएगा?
-1.
-1. और दोनों का बेस सेम है तो फिर 4 की पावर कितनी आएगी डिनोमिनेटर में?
N minus 1.
n-1.
सो ये इतना सिंपल था, वो भी नहीं आप बता पाए. अब क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
और आप दूसरी चीज भी कर सकते हो, यहाँ पे एक 4 कैंसिल कर दोगे और नीचे वाला एक 4 कैंसिल कर दोगे तो भी आपको सेम ही थिंग मिलेगी. अल्टीमेटली वी आर डूइंग द सेम थिंग. अब क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me what is the relation between 4 to the power n minus 1 and n square? And remember, we want for all natural number. What happens? See, you just need to put the values of n in this and check what we are getting over here. What happens if I put n is equals to 1? Then what is 4 to the power n minus 1?
1.
So this gives me 1. What is n square when n is 1?
1.
It is
1.
same.
Which means what? Here we are getting equality. Now let us try to put n is equals to 2. What happens if I put n is equals to 2? Then 4 to the power 2 minus 1 gives me what?
4.
4.
4. And what is 2 square?
4.
4.
So this is giving me again the same. Now what happens if I put n is equals to 3? So what can I say about 4 to the power 3 minus 1?
16.
16.
16. And on the left hand side we are having n square. So what is 3 square?
9.
9. So among these two, which one is bigger?
16.
16. Now you just try to increase your n. Now tell me what is the relation between these two? Can I
4
say?
to
Yes, Abhat?
4 raised to n minus 1 is greater than or equals to n square.
Exactly. So we are having this relation. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now take the reciprocal and tell me what is the relation of 4 to the power n minus 1 and 1 upon n square. What is the relation between these two now?
Sir, inequality will reverse.
Inequality reverses. So we are having this situation. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now just multiply this by n. Okay, so after multiplying, we are having n in the numerator. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now observe this. What can I say about n upon n square? Can I say this is exactly equals to 1 upon n?
Yes, sir.
So this gives me 1 upon n. Now observe. Okay, now I am giving you using sandwich theorem. If you want, you can apply Archimedean property also, which is there in your book. Okay. See, we have already concluded that this sequence an is bigger than 0. And on the left hand side, we are getting that this sequence is less than or is equals to 1 upon n. Now you just apply limit n tending to infinity. So what I can say about limit of 0?
0.
What is the limit of 1 upon n as n tending to infinity?
It
0.
is also 0.
So what can I say about an then?
It is also 0.
This is
0.
also 0. Using
Sandwich theorem.
Sandwich theorem.
sandwich theorem. Okay, so this is one way of proving that this sequence an is converging to 0. Okay, or if you want, you can apply these arguments also. Okay, see here we are getting this sequence is less than or is equals to 1 upon n for all n. Okay, note this relation. Okay, so now see, this is true for all n, which means what? This is also true for some n naught. So we are having a n naught is strictly bigger than 0. So I am having this sequence a n naught as 3n naught plus 1 divided by 4 to the power n naught. Okay, now this n naught is in the power of 4, not in the multiplication. Okay, and we have seen that this sequence is less than or is equals to 1 upon n for all n. So in particular, I can say that this sequence is also true, also less than or is equals to 1 upon n naught. Why this is true? Because this is true for all n. तो अगर हम n की वैल्यू एक n नॉट कोई फिक्स नंबर भी ले लेंगे तो उसके लिए भी इसे ट्रू ही होना पड़ेगा. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So we are having this is less than or is equals to 1 upon n naught. But observe what we have said about 1 upon n naught over here.
1 upon n naught is less than epsilon.
1 upon n naught is less than epsilon. Okay, and a n naught belongs to S. Okay, because in S we are putting same kind of sequences where n comes from natural number. So here this n naught is also coming from natural number. So I can say that a n naught is also belongs to the set S. So for every epsilon bigger than 0, there exists a n naught belongs to n such that we are having this relation. Okay. Now you just take this epsilon to be very small. In fact, you can take it exactly equals to 0. Remember, we are picking epsilon to be bigger than 0. So this is for your understanding purpose. That is, you can take epsilon to be exactly equals to 0. But it is not true. We are coming closer and closer towards 0. So this gives me what? Mod of an minus 0 is less than epsilon. So this gives me what? This sequence an is converging to 0. Okay, see here we are proving a stronger statement. Okay, here we are saying an directly converging to 0. We just need to check the boundedness on an, or we just need to show infimum of this set S is 0. So here we are getting an naught is bigger than 0 and less than epsilon. तो boundedness infimum के लिए condition use करो. See, we are saying what? An is strictly bigger than 0. And if you are taking an epsilon which is bigger than 0, and here we are saying that yes, observe what we are saying over here. If you recall that statement for infimum, that is S is a non-empty subset of real number, then I can say a number M is the infimum of the set S if and only if M is the lower bound of S, and another condition is what? For every epsilon, what is that statement? Yes. For every epsilon bigger than 0, there exists what you are going to say? यूनिट 1 पढ़ा नहीं आपने? सी अगर सारी चीजें मैं ही बताऊंगा तो फिर आप खुद से पढ़ाई करोगे तो फिर आपको समझ में कब आएगा? इसीलिए जो भी हमने पीछे पढ़ा है वो आपको रिवाइज करते रहना है. सी आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज योर फर्स्ट टाइम ऑफ स्टडिंग सच काइंड ऑफ डेफिनेशंस. तो अगर आपने बीच में से रिवीजन करना बंद कर दिया तो आप आगे प्रोसीड ही नहीं कर पाओगे. ओके, सो फॉर माय नेक्स्ट लेक्चर हमने जो भी यूनिट 1 में पढ़ा है आप वो सारी चीजें रिवाइज करके आओगे. Okay, and I will ask those definitions in my next lecture. If you are unable to answer, then I will give you punishment. Okay, and don't be in this situation that sir we are in online, so आप punishment कैसे दोगे हमें? Okay, see, you have already submitted your practicals on your classroom, so you can submit your punishment there also. So don't be in that situation. Okay, so इसका answer I am leaving for your homework. Okay, you just need to apply that statement of infimum. So using this, you can say infimum of this set S is nothing but 0. Because what? There is no lower bound in between 0 and epsilon. So this is our greatest lower bound. Hence you are going to conclude infimum of this set S is nothing but 0. Or if you want, you can apply this also. Using sandwich theorem, you can conclude that An converging to 0. Is the example clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. सो प्लीज रिमेंबर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर के लिए यूनिट 1 और यूनिट 2 में हमने जो भी अभी तक पढ़ा है आप सारी चीजें रिवाइज करके आओगे. ओके, सो लेट अस सी दिस सेकंड वन. Let me give you an idea of this example and I am going to leave this example for your homework because it's already 12:02. Let me see when ma'am is going to come. Till then we are going to continue. Okay, so in the second example it is given that a1 is exactly 8 and there is the relation between an plus 1 and an plus 2. That is an plus 1 is exactly equals to 1 upon 2 times an plus 1, and this is true for all n belongs to natural number. Okay, now can you able to guess whether this sequence an is what? See, using this statement, suppose I want to calculate what is an. Then can you tell me what is an for this? सी यहाँ पे हमें an+1 एंड an+2 के बारे में रिलेशन दिया है. So can you give me a relation for an using this statement? You just need to observe the suffix of an+1 and an+2 and observe what is the relation between these two. So what you are going to say about an?
Sir, an is equals to half of an plus 1.
An is equals to half of an+1. Exactly. ओके. सी यहाँ पे जो भी हम इंडेक्स ले रहे हैं हम उसका इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं बाय 1 ओवर हियर. सो हियर वी आर हैविंग an इज इक्वल्स टू 1/2 an+1. तो हम यहाँ पर n लेंगे तो हमें इसे इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा बाय 1. इज दैट क्लियर टू एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the question arises, how you are going to check whether this is monotonically increasing or decreasing? Yes, all of you please try to work on it and tell me, is it monotonically increasing or monotonically decreasing using trial and error method? That is, just substitute the value of 1, 2, 3 and so on and see what is the relation. And remember, a1 is given to us. A1 is nothing but 8. So you can see in such sequences, अगर हमें फर्स्ट टर्म नहीं पता होगी तो हम आगे प्रोसीड ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So it is given that a1 is equals to 1. So what you can say about a2?
$16.
Okay, a1 is 8. So a2 is 16. कैसे किया? समझा ये a2 16 कैसे आया सबको? या कोई है जिसे नहीं समझा? ओके, आप तो खुद से बोलोगे नहीं. यस रोशन, आप ही बता दो कैसे किया.
सर n का वैल्यू 1 सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दो जो आपने इक्वेशन लिखा है. तो a1 इक्वल टू जिसका वैल्यू 8 ऑलरेडी दिया है इक्वल टू हाफ है, तो हाफ उधर जाएगा तो 16 हो जाएगा, और an+1 में 1 डालेंगे तो a2 हो जाएगा.
एग्जैक्टली. अब a3 फाइंड आउट करो.
32.
a3 is 32. Now can you able to see the relation between the terms of the sequences? Yes. What is a4?
64.
64. अब कुछ रिलेशन दिख रहा है इसमें?
Monotonically increasing.
This is monotonically increasing. But see, हमें टर्म्स कैसे मिल रहे हैं? फर्स्ट टर्म इज 8, सेकेंड टर्म इज 16, थर्ड टर्म इज 32, fourth term is 64. Now can you able to generate a sequence using these terms? Or tell me what is an? See, first term हमने conclude
a into r to the power n-1.
a into r to the power n-1 means you are applying GP.
Yeah.
So what is a?
8. 8 into 2
8 into 2.
to the power n-1.
Why it is n-1? See, you are applying GP, that's fine. But why it is n-1? When we are having the power of r is n-1.
Sir, because first term we don't have any common difference, na?
वो किसी फर्स्ट टर्म के बारे के फर्स्ट टर्म के इसमें तो हम कुछ नहीं बोल रहे, क्योंकि फर्स्ट टर्म तो हमने खाली ए एज इट इज ही लिखा है, विच इज नथिंग बट 8. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट आर. Why you are saying the power of r is n minus 1? If you remember, see मैं इसके बारे में ज्यादा कुछ elaborate नहीं करूंगा, आपको खुद से सोचना है.
सर आप इस सीक्वेंस को ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते. सपोज जैसे यहाँ 8, 16, 32 दिया है, तो मैं ऐसे लिख रहा हूँ. पहला फर्स्ट टर्म को मैंने ए बोल दिया, सेकंड टर्म को ए आर लिख दिया. ओके, सो
Yes.
थर्ड टर्म मेरा हो गया ए आर स्क्वायर. तो लास्ट टर्म जो होगा, फर्स्ट टर्म तो 8 है ना सर, वहां पे आर का वैल्यू 0 है. तो जो
रुको
लास्ट टर्म
रुको
होगा
रुको रुको
उसमें,
रुको, पहले तो मुझे बताओ कि इसका हमें लास्ट टर्म मिलेगा क्या?
सर इसका लास्ट टर्म आर टू द पावर एन माइनस 1 मिलेगा.
पक्का?
हाँ पक्का.
या इन्फिनिटी पे जाएगा ये?
इन्फिनिटी आप तो इन्फिनिटी पे जा रहा है ना सर, उसमें उससे क्या मतलब है सर? हमको एन का वैल्यू देखना है ना, एन का वैल्यू जो सब्स्टिट्यूट करेंगे वही मिलेगा.
मीन्स हमें ए nth टर्म देखना है. ओके, nth टर्म देखना है. ओके, सो आपने बोला कि चलो ये क्या होगा, 2 to the power n minus 1.
ना
ओके, क्योंकि ये हो रहा है 8 into 2, this gives me what? 8 into 4, which is nothing but 2 to the power 2. Yes, so this gives me 8 into 2 to the power n minus 1. This is nothing but our nth term, is it or not?
यस.
Okay, now tell me. See, we are getting this is monotonically increasing. Now, what is your guess? Can I say, is it bounded? Yes. Is it bounded?
No, sir.
So this is not bounded. Okay, because as we are increasing our n, then you can see this term rapidly increases. So we can't apply monotone convergence theorem in this situation. See, but in the problem, they have given us that prove the following sequences A and are convergent, which means what? इस problem में कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. उन्होंने assume करते समय कुछ तो wrong assume किया होगा. Let us see. A1 is 8, A2 is 2, and here observe. Here for A2, they are writing A1 over here. Means what? They need to use this condition, that is an plus 2 is equals to 1 upon 2 into an plus 1. So जब वो ये कंडीशन यूज करेंगे तभी हमें ये मिलेगा. इज इट और नॉट? समझ रहा है? विच मीन्स वॉट? जब हमें ए एन प्लस 1 कैलकुलेट करना होगा तो हम अज्यूम करेंगे 1 अपॉन 2 ए एन. But then also we are not getting it as 6. उन्होंने ये +2 भी कहाँ से किया? Okay. See, what they want to write is this 2 is nothing but what? This comes in the addition. Okay, this is nothing but this. That is an plus 1 is equals to 1 upon 2 times an plus 2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
See, then only we are getting 1 upon 2 times a1 plus 2. सो देखो वहाँ पे इन्होंने ये मिस्टेक कर दी तो हमसे ये सारी मिस्टेक्स हो जाती है. Okay, so it's we will still have 1 minute. So you can see this is we are getting this kind of relation, that is an is strictly less than an plus 1. So you can use induction, okay, to check that this sequence is monotonically decreasing, okay, because see our first term, now remember this is the different example, okay. This is the different example in which we have concluded that this sequence an is not bounded above, though it is monotonically increasing. So we can't apply monotone convergence theorem in this example, but you can see you can apply monotone convergence theorem in this example. Okay, so please make the correction in this problem, which is nothing but this one, and the first term is nothing but 8. So you can just calculate it second term, third term, so you can able to see these are nothing but the decreasing terms. So you are getting this kind of relation, but for applying this relation you need to first give the proof of this relation using an induction. I hope you have already studied induction in your algebra. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm leaving this for your homework. You please try to get this relation using induction. That is, first you assume that this is our statement Pn. You just put n is equals to 1. So you can able to conclude P of 1 is true. Then what is your next step of induction?
P of k.
You assume P of k is true. Remember, we need to prove P of 1 is true. In the second statement, you assume P of k is true. And in the third statement, what you are going to prove?
P of k plus 1.
P of k plus 1 is true. So if you are getting this kind of relation, then you can see using this induction, this is true for all n. Hence, at the end, you are going to conclude this is true using induction and this is true for all n. ओके, सो ये आप नेक्स्ट लेक्चर तक करो, फिर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में हम इसका बाउंडेडनेस चेक करेंगे. ओके, सो लेट मी स्टॉप दिस लेक्चर हियर. नाउ एनीबडी वांट टू आस्क एनी काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन? Yes, Abhyat, I will send this PDF.